Most traders lose money on gold because they're trying to predict it, like complete idiots. Gold doesn't sit still. Almost every daily candle either runs the high or the low. So instead of guessing which one, this system removes half the market from your decision. It tells you which side matters, when to engage, and when to sit on your hands and do absolutely nothing, using one daily candle for the same time every day with a few simple mechanical rules. And by the end of this video, you'll have the exact framework to stop overtrading, stop predicting, and make gold your bitch. And of course, on gold, we must pay attention to the fact that all of these daily candles are usually running the highs or the lows. And understanding this fact allows us to create a very simple system based on the highs or lows, aka liquidity of the daily ranges, and catch quick scalps in the market. And as you guys can see here, we run the high, we run the high, we run the high, we run the high, we run the low here. And usually about 75 to 80% of the time, we're usually running the high or the low. And now to dive into the rules of the system, of course, we're going to need to have gold up on our charts. That is a given. Of course, you can utilize either MetaTrader 4 or TradingView. I prefer TradingView just because it gives me the proper daily closes at 6 p.m. And obviously, we're going to need the daily candle, which closes at 6 p.m. for gold. We only need the close of the daily candle. And once the daily candle has closed, that is when we can measure the candle from high to low with these given fib ranges right here. These settings here are going to be for your case of buys, and these settings down here are going to be for your case of sells. Of course, you're always going to measure from high to low to keep these settings consistent. And of course, as mentioned, for the case of buys, we're going to need the daily candle, which closes at 6 p.m. for gold. We measure our fib ranges. And for the case of buys, our long position is going to look as such, with our entry at the daily high, aka the 1 level, the stop loss at the 0.9, and our take profit at the 1.25 level. And this is going to equate to a 2.5 R. So your trading day consists of showing up to the charts at 6 p.m., placing your orders on both sides, given the buy and the sell side. And all you have to do is simply walk away for the day and either let price hit your buy or hit your sells. And of course, for the sell side, you guys can see here, we have our short position there with the entry at the daily low, aka the 0 level, the 0.1 for our stop loss, and the negative 0.25 for our take profit. And the RR factor is going to be the same at 2.5 R. And another important thing to mention, once the next daily candle range has finished, we are closing positions on both sides if neither are hits. And of course, we also must avoid the hours from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. EST. And for more context here, you guys can see lower time frame examples where we took the high and the low of the previous day's candle range. This is the range we are measuring from high to low. And within this next daily candle opening here, you guys can see we breached the high and went straight to take profit for 2.5 R. And of course, once this scenario plays out, you are already done for the day and you would have already canceled this sell side down here. And of course, for the case of sells, you guys can see here, we had a short position placed at the low of the range, followed by an instant take profit at 2.5 R. And all we're doing is following the highs and lows of the previous candle, and we're letting the next day's candle's data reveal the outcome of the trade. And of course, on paper, this system is super simple, but of course, what matters is that this actually works in the live markets. As you guys can see, for the month of December, I had a P&L of about 10K. Followed by a 44% win rate, which is slightly above the true win rate of the system. You guys can see I had plenty of losing days, but of course, when we're targeting 2.5 R, the winning days is what allows the system to be very profitable. And when you see all of this red here, it honestly looks like this system is complete trash, but if you understand risk management, understanding your profit factor and RR per trade, this is where this starts to make sense and where you can actually achieve 10K months from a 42% win rate system. And I did decide to run a Monte Carlo simulation, simulating a 100K account, which is what I'm trading on, risking 1%. With a 41.5% win rate, which is the true win rate of the system. And as you guys can see here, we have the results for the most possible case scenario denoted in blue. It is about a little over 2x account gain, and with the best case being over a 5x on the account gain. Ever since I've been trading this strategy live, we are on track for the most possible case scenario here. There's going to be years where we perform in the best case possible scenario, followed by the worst case, which even in the worst case, it was still a 20% account gain, which demonstrates the power of the system. And the the fact that the system still had a 20% gain in the worst possible scenario shows the true power of this system. And just for context, the worst case scenarios are when the strategy is performing below the true win rate. The most possible scenarios is when the strategy is performing usually right at the true win rate. And the best case scenarios is when the win percentage is performing much higher than the true win rate, which in the world of probability, any one of these given scenarios are possible, but every system boils down to a true win rate, and that is the power of backtesting. Of course, I backtested the system for over 5+ years, and I have all the data, and I understand the true win rate, and I understand the expectancies for this given strategy. But enough of the chit chat, let's just get right into the live examples. So what we'll do here, of course, we already have our daily time frame pulled up, so we're going to measure this given candle here from high to low, and we'll scale down on the lower time frames just so we can observe price action and making sure we're catching entries the right way. Let this range close out, and we'll make sure it is pinned to the high and low of the given range. And as you guys can see, as soon as the next day's candle opened on the hour time frame, we had an instant move into our entry there. So that would have been a short position with the entry at the low, followed by stop loss right there, and the take profit at the negative 0.25. Of course, we see this big fat seller's candle here. So we have to go in a lower time frame when we're back testing to make sure we didn't get stopped out. And as you can see here, this 5-minute entered us cleanly here with no signs of stopping us out. So this is a clean entry and exit. And we'll come back to our 30-minute time frame. And as you guys can see, this was a clear winning trade for a profit of 2.5R. So we'll go ahead and get rid of this on screen, and we'll come to our handy dandy trade journal and document plus 2.5RR. And we'll resume our back testing session. Okay, now that this next daily candle has formed, all we have to do is measure it from high to low of the given range, which is actually going to start right there. And what I went ahead and did for us, just to make this super clear, just to give you guys a visual understanding, we're going to be avoiding these red hours here, which is the hours from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. And now that this next daily range has formed, we can see we had an immediate entry upon open. So of course you would have already anticipated that and you would have had your orders ready. So it's going to be an entry at the high, stop loss at the red line, aka the 0.9. And now we are officially in this position. And of course you would already have MetaTrader cancel this position for you. Now that we're in this trade here, let's go ahead and play price. And of course, as you guys can see, we went ahead and breached the high and we ended up getting stopped out. So this is going to be a losing position. So we'll go ahead and get rid of this on screen, come back to our trade journal and document a -1RR, and we'll continue playing out the ranges. Now that we have our next daily range formed, we're going to measure from high to low. And now that we have our range outlined, of course, we would have already placed orders on both sides. We'll just simply let price play out and reveal the outcome of this scenario. We go ahead and run the low there. So let's go on the lower time frame first, make sure we did not get stopped out. As you can see, we got tapped in here, but this candle opened up here. So price could have entered us here, pulled back all the way up to here and then continued. So we have to go lower on the time frames to make sure this didn't get stopped out. And as you guys can see, this was a totally valid trade. The 1 minute tapped us in here, no signs of a pullback. So we'll come back to the 30-minute time frame. And as you guys can see, this was a clean short position here. I don't even need to place the trade. You guys can see it with the fib levels on screen. We got entered here, we held this level here, and price ended up fulfilling this negative 0.25 level, which is going to be another plus 2.5R, plus 2.5R. And of course, you already got entered for your trade for the day. There's no more trades for the day. You simply would have showed up to the charts here, placed your orders on both sides, and that is it. You are done for the day, and you anticipate price to finish the range and come back at the next daily open. And now that we have our next range, we're just gonna follow the highs and lows of the daily candle range. Okay, as you guys can see, we have an entry for the buy. So an entry at the high, followed by stop loss at the 0.9 level and a take profit at the 1.25. There's no signs of a pullback upon entries, so we are still live in this trade. This level has held. And we go ahead and fill our take profit at the 1.25 level. So that is going to be another plus 2.5 in the books. And now that the trade has revealed itself, all we have to do is let this range form out or just come back to the next daily candle. From high to low. Okay, we have another entry for the buy. So that would be entry at the open, followed by stop loss and take profit. And that is going to be a loss for the day. So this is going to go down as a -1. So we'll go ahead and get rid of the positions on screen, come back to our trade journal and document a -1 RR. We'll go ahead and bust out a few more live examples for today's video. From high to low. Okay, we have an entry at the high there, which is going to be a long position at the open, followed by stop loss at the 0.9 and take profit at the blue line, and that was instantly filled. We do have to go in the lower time frame to confirm this did not get stopped out. So let's go ahead and make sure we're all good here. As you can see, this 5-minute tapped us in here, but this still opened below this red line. So of course, price could have came down here within this candle and wicked us out. I highly doubt it, but let's go ahead and make sure we're all good. Yeah, and as you can see there, you see in this 1-minute candle entered us with no signs of reversal to the stop loss. So this is a totally valid position. So we'll go ahead and let's go back to the 30-minute. We'll get rid of this on screen here. And by the way, guys, I do have this indicator pinned down in the comments below, consisting of the candle you're measuring, followed by the actual candle you're trading. It's going to be pinned down in the comments below. And of course, if you guys want access to this system and many other profitable one candle systems that only take about 5 to 10 minutes a day to trade, the link is down in the description. It is completely free. But of course, let's not forget to document on our journal the plus 2.5 R we just had for that trade. And of course, now that we have the outcome for this day's range, we'll let the next daily range form. And if you guys have noticed, out of all these examples, either the high or low of the range was ran, and that is the power of gold. And this is why we're able to capitalize every day off the highs and lows of these daily candles. And of course, our daily range has formed here. So we'll make sure we're measured from high to low. And now that we have our range, we just simply want to let price play out. And of course, in live time, you're already at your desk. You're placing your orders on both sides and you are done for the day. It is that simple. Your trading day is usually going to be about 5-10 minutes max, maybe if you're not so good with technology. But for most people and for most of my students, it usually takes about 5 minutes a day to apply this system. And of course, now that you would have already had your orders on both sides, we're going to let price play out. And you guys can see an entry there, followed by an instant stop out. So price grabbed the high and instantly reversed. No worries at all. It's simply going to be a -1 in the books. So of course, we want to document that in our back testing. Losers are absolutely necessary, in fact, healthy for this system. Think of losers as paying your business expense for inventory, for staff, etc. It's simply just like running a business, and losers are your overhead costs. And that is the best way to approach the markets when you're trading for the long hauls, is to treat your trading account like a business. And every single business has overhead costs and expenses. All we're doing is simply making a plan and executing it, just like a real life business. But let's go ahead and wrap it up for this backtesting session. We had a total of 4 winners and 3 losers, so that is about 4 for 7, which is about a 57% win rate. So in this sample size of data, we performed over the true win rate. But of course, once you collect 100, 500, even 1,000 trades, that is when you're going to get your true win rate of the system. And that is why, of course, I stress backtesting. You guys are going to see plenty of strategies on YouTube that show you a few examples of a strategy, and it appears as these strategies are the holy grail with 0 losers at all, but that is not the truth, guys. There are losers in trading. That is the absolute truth. And I like to be fully transparent on this channel. I love to show the losers. I love to show the data and give you guys the idea and what trading is actually like, especially when you approach it with the mindset of a data scientist. But that about wraps it up for today's video. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. And of course, I pinned down the indicator I used. And if you guys already haven't grabbed the free 1 candle playbook down in the description, be sure to do so. But besides that, I will see you guys in the next video.